award that I criticized myself as the one that people were mad at me the most for, which just shows that, like, you know, they don't even know what they're talking about. You know, which was the Tony Khan Booker of the Year, you know, which, you know, I mean, like, look, first 6 months of the year, he was, you know, last 6 months of the year, you know, that's more debatable and whatever. It's over and done with, and or it's what it is. And, you know, but it was kind of sad because it's kind of like all of these people, like, really deserved. I mean, there are some people, and it's just like, oh, it's all AEW. And then I was looking, it's like, it wasn't. I mean, AEW won a lot, but
it was not all AEW. And the one thing I would say one thing about the Tony Khan Booker of the Year. I had no problem with that whatsoever because I thought that it was not 6 months. I thought it was a solid 8 months. It was literally, I thought, all the way through the all-out brawl, which would have been September. And, you know, once they lost the Elite and they lost CM Punk and they had to try to, you know, get everything going again. I mean, they had a real rough time starting in September. So you had September, October, November, December. It's 4 months. And, you know, when you look at, like, you know, Hunter...
December was real good, though. December was real
well,
good.
then you can add another month to it. But my point is, when you look at Triple H, like, this thing is hot right now. It's invariably, you cannot argue that WWE is super hot right now. But right now is February of 2023. So you can't count February. You probably shouldn't count January. And so
no, the whole thing is like it's like a lot of the awards that you would go like WWE should win. There's actually several awards like you know that but it's like after December 31st it doesn't count. That's for next year. Or for this year, you know.
Well, yeah. I mean, hey, there's a very good chance, you know, if unless Vince takes over again, there's a very good chance that Hunter could win Booker of the Year for 2023. But these are the 2022 awards, and I think that looking at 2022, what was that?
Think Brock Lesnar and almost is a sign of something.
I think it's a sign that maybe Vince is, you know, giving suggestions, and that was one of them. But you know,
that was
to me.
I can't say that was due to Vince, but I can say that you know, that was a change. That, like, most of this WrestleMania card was stuff that, you know, was planned out. You know, I mean, a lot of it like they actually planned out most of this card further in advance than usual, which is to Paul Levesque's credit probably. I mean, usually, like, you'll have but some of the top matches you usually have, you know, by November, December, and then you kind of fill it in, you know, from there. And this one, really, there's a lot by October that they, you know, they had, and there's definitely been many changes since October also, but this was like a change. You know, I don't know. I can't say the day that the Lesnar match changed, and then it might change Monday too. I'm not sure if that's not a swerve, but I do know that there were changes in the card in the last week or two. You know, which you know, for whatever that was.
Well, I mean, the thing to me is, and we saw this with Sammy in Montreal, and we've seen this. I mean, whatever you think of the television now as compared to with Vince, you know, the fact of the matter is that if they advertise 4 matches for the following week's show, we're going to see all 4 matches. And if we don't, it's going to be an aberration. Whereas before, if they advertised 4 matches for the next week, we would probably see maybe 2 of them. We wouldn't see all 4 ever. And so the thing to me is when you start seeing announcements made and then they change, and they announce matches, and then they don't, and then they announce a card, and they do none of it. That, to me, is the glaring red flag that Vince is back. One random match where they decided to put Omos with Brock Lesnar, yeah, Vince, you know, he may have talked to Brock, and then Brock talked to Hunter, and then they decided this is the match we want to do or whatever. I don't know. But that, to me, is not an indication that he has full control again.
Well, I mean, the fact if Brock really didn't want to do it, it wouldn't happen, whether it's Vince McMahon or who.